Hey guys, we are live now.
Hello.
Um, Today's a very special episode. It's going to be the first time we've ever done unsolved mysteries. Um, Usually I joke that I'm sometimes the mad scientist behind a lot of ideas for the channel, but this was Austin's idea, so Austin got to pick um the
Hey,
unsolved mystery.
gents.
Hey, how's it going, you sexy beast?
Oh,
Uh,
you got it right. Oh, I see. Nice.
so what's up?
Oh, it just setup is a little bit different. I'm used to the chat being over there, but it's over here now.
It's just because we're multi-streaming to 3 different channels right now. We're also live on Kick right now. We're live on Twitch and we're live on our YouTube. So we're live on like
Oh, damn.
multi stuff.
That goes to show how little I do. I just show up and I give ideas.
I'm the better behind like
Hey, a kick and YouTube.
uh I'm more of like the guy that like I'd come up with your theme song and wrestling video and probably do like the managing where it's like all you have to do where like old school there's only one manager that I know that still does that and they just fired him again.
Who?
Paul Elrig.
Oh, yeah.
They just refired him. I wish I had so much hope for the Final Testament.
Hmm.
Like I had so much hope for that stable. Like it was going good with the whole feud with the Wyatts, and then it's just give us a pay-per-view payoff for that match.
I.
That should have been a Survivor Series elimination.
Yeah, but they gotta build up the Final Testament first because they were just doing nothing, and
No.
then everyone knew that they were going to get beat anyways.
No, but that's how I kind of see myself.
Yeah.
It's I'm the guy that will come up with like making the videos, and before I put the videos online, it's like, hey, check out this intro. Hey, check out this thing. Hey, I think streaming to Kick, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, it's helping my other channel, Pokebongs. I don't know if you guys know about Pokebongs, but that's where I get to play my Pokemon games and all that stuff on my other channel. It's new. It's not even affiliate yet. I just enjoy playing Pokemon games.
Hmm.
Anyways, so with me being kind of like the mad scientist, I have a very good
Yeah, get
co-host.
yourself on as many platforms as you can.
Yeah, because then you're just uploading, doing all that stuff, trying to keep everything PG to the point where we still talk about gore, but we're not going to talk about politics or religion or there's a new one and it's sexuality now. I don't
Yeah.
care about other people's sexuality.
Me neither. What goes on in the bedroom stays in the bedroom between you and your partner.
2 consenting adults, I don't care.
Exactly.
What it has to do with people who are underage, yeah, I fucking care.
Oh, of course.
Like, I'm not going to say my politics right now, but I think a lot of people understand where my foot comes down on a couple things. I'll tell you more, but it's half the reason I'm considering Abby going to a Catholic.
Really?
Yeah, not going to.
I'll
say
only
much more
say
than
one
that.
thing. Would chip her.
Yeah,
Every time I hear wood chipper, I think of Tucker and Dale versus Evil. You ever
yeah,
see that?
I have. I actually wanted to talk about.
These damn college kids came on our property killing themselves.
We should have almost done a movie tonight, like a comedy movie or Evil Bong. We could still do Evil Bong tonight because that movie's so quick. But anyways, losing traction here. Austin came up with a great idea of unsolved mysteries.
What did you call it? Because we were you messaged me and you gave it a title.
I didn't put the actual title in, but it's like Whispers from the Abyss.
No, it was like Echoes of something.
Echoes of something. It was really cool.
Let's see here. I'm looking up right now.
Yeah, we sent a lot of texts to each other, so
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of messaging going around. Uh, we're not going to go into the full story. Like, we're not going to read it. I went off the Wikipedia earlier, and I found basically the story as is. So
Echoes of the Unsolved.
Echoes of the Unsolved.
I love that name.
About Echoes of the Unsolved Mystery.
Mysteries. I like this. Yep.
I think Echoes.
Oh yeah.
It just makes it look so much more. Is Incident? No, Incident needs to be capitalized.
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome to Amateur Hour, where nothing is ready for us. We both had a long day.
Oh yeah.
I finally got the go ahead to have a couple drinks last night, and this is where I know I gotta be careful with my drinking. Couple drinks easily turned into 9-10 drinks left.
Oh dang.
Yeah, if you're counting shots. If you're not counting shots, I would say I was floating around the 7.
Mm.
And that's because I don't like pouring myself drinks anymore. I'll buy canned drinks, and that's it. Because I find if I have actual hard liquor, I can pour those shots as hard as I want, and I can make the drinks as solid as I want. So I don't really try doing that. So I got the go ahead. So I had a couple last night, and then I woke up and I remembered very quickly what's one of the reasons I do not like drinking that much, especially drinking on a payday. I woke up and there's fast food all over the house.
Oh geez.
Like we had McDonald's. You could tell I had McDonald's last night.
I couldn't tell when I walked in.
Oh yeah, it's already in the. Like I woke up this morning, and there was a 20-pack of McNuggets.
Nice.
There was a handful of DLMs. Those are just like Macs. And it like two things of poutine. And I asked my wife, I'm like, did you have any of this? She's like, no, you just went to town last night. And then this morning I actually picked out a piece of burger from my beard. So I think I'm good for drinking for a bit.
Classic Danky, just picking a burger out of his beard.
Yeah. Well, it's a piece of burger. Could you imagine just a giant
just a full burger.
Just a full hamburger.
So you had a pretty rough start of the day. Were you a little hungover or?
A little hungover, but I still got up and did everything I had to do. That's just that's the reason I hate hangovers. Like before the kid was born, I could lay in bed all day. After the kid's born, I have to get up and be dad.
Mm.
So that's one of the things that really sucks. If it's like I knew she could have watched cartoons and eat cereal while I just laid on the couch. No, she's playful. She go as soon as she gets up, she's running around the house. She's doing a lot. She's snacking on all the food that she can find, and everything goes into her mouth. I feel so bad for my cats because their tails.
Oh no!
Have been bitten so many times.
Oh no!
But yeah, and then you were busy. You said you couldn't make it till 7:30, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was actually I had to dip out of my church thing because I got a phone call from my mom saying my sister almost died today.
Oh shit!
Yeah, from a seizure. But she's doing okay now. Kind of had to talk to my dad about stuff. Called my mom again, and just kind of getting back on track with that.
Yeah.
Bit rough.
Oh my god, bro.
Right?
And he's here tonight for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's here tonight, so we gotta give him big props for that. Like, he could have told me flat out, and I would have. I think I would have just continued playing Dead Snow or Doom again. I did Doom last week to test it out. Holy crap, am I choppy at Doom right now? I used to be really good.
Like which Doom? Doom Eternal?
Doom
or?
Eternal. I died from this big ass guy a total of 2 times. And the first time I went in, I used up all my extra life. I had to remember kill the enemies with the power punch to get health back. And if I wanted armor back, I have to flamethrower some guys. So I was choppy, but as soon as I got the rhythm back for it, worst thing is the big FG, it wasn't doing shit to the guy. It probably
Who were you fighting?
It was the guy right before you shoot the one demon lord in the head. It was a giant guy with a shield. I had to watch the green skulls on the shield go off.
Oh, that guy.
So I don't know how far I am into the game.
I had a feeling that was... You're getting pretty close, because that was like the, last Hell Priest?
I believe so.
Because there's 3 of them. In the beginning, you got one. The second one was right after you got your super shotgun. And then this one.
Because I did know that bitch tried to attack the ship last week, and he threw a hell horde onto me. And I was just like, okay. But, you know, that's what I do. I have extra games that if we ever can't make it, the game, the channel turns into a horror gaming for that night. I don't ever want to talk about a topic without you on here.
Aw.
Unless we figure out how to do the Discord channel thing, which I think is going to be very easy. It's just I haven't had time to actually go out to your place and
Yeah, I'm just slowly getting into a better financial situation, so there are a few things I have to get before I can get a desk.
I wouldn't even worry about getting a desk.
Oh, I want a desk though.
Like I'm wanting to buy like a triangle desk so that I have like a soundboard thing going right. I could put basically all the bongs that you kick over there right here and all that stuff. So I don't know if I'm buying a desk like this, or I'm going to buy a shelf that just comes up. That one up there.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm just constantly kicking like bongs on the floor here if my foot isn't on his paper shredder.
Yeah.
I like having my feet elevated.
And I do have a stool, that blue stool back there. I do have that one in here for you to use.
Where would we put it?
We would move out all because the thing is there's just a couple keyboards and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from them.
My room is an organized mess right now, and I try to come in here and clean, but with the kid
it's hard.
Yeah, and then it gets harder because sometimes if I'm in here, I'm like, okay, I'll have 2 blasts. Oh, dude, what was that song that I was like listening to the other day? Does that song have a music video?
It's like that song. I was going to clean my room, but then I got high.
Oh yeah.
But I kind of want to push more because I'm really excited about this topic here.
Yeah, so
the Dyatlov Pass Incident. I've been obsessed with this since 2020 when I found out about it, and I've been doing a lot of research. I've been listening. I myself have been listening to podcasts about this at work.
So my original person that told me about this was a guy by the name of Mr. Ballin. Now I'm going to put him over. If you guys want to hear an excellent storyteller tell that story, go check him out on YouTube. I really recommend him on YouTube to check out. I find that he has a very natural way of storytelling and like using his voice and background music, and he has the advantages of being a well-known YouTuber with a studio. So if you guys want to hear a really good rendition of this, check this out. This is our rendition. This is Echoes of the Unsolved Mystery.
Credit goes to him for the name. I love the name.
Yeah. I'd say credit goes to Chat GBT.
Oh. Fair
All
enough.
right. So this is taken exactly right off of YouTube. So, or not YouTube, Wikipedia. So we're going to listen to this, and then we're going to discuss our theories of what happened.
The Dyatlov Pass Incident. Background. In 1959, a group was formed for a skiing expedition across the northern Urals in Sverdlovsk Oblast, Soviet Union. According to prosecutor Tempelov, documents found in the tent of the expedition suggest the expedition was named for the 21st Congress of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union and possibly was dispatched by the local Komsomol organization. Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old radio engineering student at the Ural Polytechnical Institute, the leader, assembled a group of 9 others for the trip, most of whom were fellow students and peers at the university. The initial group consisted of 8 men and 2 women, but one member later returned because of health issues. Each member of the group was an experienced Grade 2 hiker with ski tour experience and would be receiving Grade 3 certification upon their return. At the time, Grade 3 was the highest certification available in the Soviet Union and required candidates to traverse 300 kilometers. The route was designed by Dyatlov's group to reach the far northern regions of the Sverdlovsk Oblast and the upper streams of the Lozva River. The Sverdlovsk City Route Commission approved the route. This was a division of the Sverdlovsk Committee of Physical Culture and Sport, and they confirmed the group of 10 people January 8, 1959. The goal of the expedition was to reach Otorden, a mountain 10 kilometers north of the site where the incident occurred. This route, estimated as Category 3, was undertaken in February, the most difficult time to traverse. On January 23, 1959, the Dyatlov group was issued their route book, which listed their course following the No. 5 trail. At that time, the Sverdlovsk City Committee of Physical Culture and Sport listed approval for 11 people. The 11th person listed was Semyon Zolotaryov, who had been certified to go with another expedition of similar difficulty. The Dyatlov group left Sverdlovsk City on the same day they received the route book. Expedition. The group arrived by train at Ividal, a town at the center of the northern province of Sverdlovsk Oblast in the early morning of January 25, 1959. They then took a truck to Vizhai, a Lori village that is the last inhabited settlement to the north. On January 27, they began their trek toward Gora Otorden. On January 28, one member, Yuri Yudin, who had several health ailments, turned back because of knee and joint pain that made him unable to continue the hike. The remaining 9 hikers continued the trek. Diaries and cameras found around their last campsite made it possible to track the group's route up to the day preceding the incident. On January 31, the group arrived at the edge of a highland area and began to prepare for climbing. In a wooded valley, they cached surplus food and equipment that would be used for the trip back. The next day, the hikers started to move through the pass. It seems they planned to get over the pass and make camp for the next night on the opposite side. But because of worsening weather conditions, snowstorms and decreasing visibility, they lost their direction and deviated west, toward the top of Kalatsyakl. When they realized their mistake, the group decided to set up camp there on the slope of the mountain, rather than move 1.5 kilometers downhill to a forested area that would have offered some shelter from the weather. Yudin speculated. Dyatlov probably did not want to lose the altitude they had gained, or he decided to practice camping on the mountain slope. Search and discovery. Before leaving, Dyatlov had agreed he would send a telegram to their sports club as soon as the group returned to Vizhai. It was expected this would happen no later than February 12, but Dyatlov had told Yudin, before he departed from the group, he expected it to be longer. When the 12th passed and no messages had been received, there was no immediate reaction. Delays of a few days were common with such expeditions. On February 20, the travelers' relatives demanded a rescue operation, and the head of the institute sent the first rescue groups, consisting of volunteer students and teachers. Later, the army and militia forces became involved, with planes and helicopters ordered to join the operation. On February 26, the searchers found the group's abandoned and badly damaged tent on Kalatsyakl. The campsite baffled the search party. Mikhail Sharavin, the student who found the tent, said the tent was half torn down and covered with snow. It was empty, and all the group's belongings and shoes had been left behind. Investigators said the tent had been cut open from inside. 9 sets of footprints, left by people wearing only socks or a single shoe or even barefoot, could be followed, leading down to the edge of a nearby wood, on the opposite side of the pass. 1.5 kilometers to the northeast. After 500 meters these tracks were covered with snow. At the forest's edge, under a large Siberian pine, the searchers found the visible remains of a small fire. There were the first two bodies, those of Krivonishenko and Doroshenko, shoeless and dressed only in underwear. The branches on the tree were broken up to 5 meters high, suggesting that one of the hikers had climbed up to look for something, perhaps the camp. Between the pine and the camp, the searchers found 3 more corpses, Dyatlov, Kolmogorova and Slobodin, who died in poses suggesting they were attempting to return to the tent. They were found at distances of 300, 480, and 630 meters from the tree. Finding the remaining 4 travelers took more than 2 months. They finally were found May 4 under 4 meters of snow in a ravine 75 meters further into the woods from the pine tree. 3 of the 4 were better dressed than the others, and there were signs that some clothing of those who had died first had been removed for use by the others. Dubanina was wearing Krivonishenko's burned, torn trousers, and her left foot and shin were wrapped in a torn jacket. Investigation. A legal inquest started immediately after the first 5 bodies were found. A medical examination found no injuries that might have led to their deaths, and it was concluded that they had all died of hypothermia. Slobodin had a small crack in his skull, but it was not thought to be a fatal wound. An examination of the 4 bodies found in May shifted the narrative of the incident. 3 of the hikers had fatal injuries, Thibaut Brignol's had major skull damage, and Dubanina and Zolotaryov had major chest fractures. According to Boris Vozrozhny, the force required to cause such damage would have been extremely high, comparable to that of a car crash. Notably, the bodies had no external wounds associated with the bone fractures, as if they had been subjected to a high level of pressure. All 4 bodies found at the bottom of the creek in a running stream of water had soft tissue damage to their head and face. For example, Dubanina was missing her tongue, eyes, part of the lips, as well as facial tissue and a fragment of skull bone, while Zolotaryov had his eyeballs missing. And Alexander Kolovatov his eyebrows. V.A. Vozrozhny, the forensic expert performing the post-mortem examination, judged that these injuries happened post-mortem because of the location of the bodies in a stream. Initial speculation suggested that the indigenous Mansi people, reindeer herders in the area, had attacked and killed the group for encroaching upon their lands. Several Mansi were interrogated, but the investigation indicated that the nature of the deaths did not support this hypothesis. Only the hikers' footprints were visible, and they showed no sign of hand-to-hand struggle. Although the temperature was low, about 25 to 30 degrees C with a storm blowing, the dead were only partially dressed. Some had only one shoe, while others wore only socks. Some were wrapped in snips of ripped clothes that seemed to have been cut from those who already were dead. Journalists reporting on the available parts of the inquest files claim that it states 6 of the group members died of hypothermia and 3 of fatal injuries. There were no indications of other people nearby on Kalatsiakl apart from the 9 travelers. The tent had been ripped open from within. The victims had died 6 to 8 hours after their last meal. Traces from the camp showed that all group members left the campsite of their own accord, on foot. Some levels of radiation were found on one victim's clothing. To dispel the theory of an attack by the indigenous Mansi people, Vozrozhny stated that the fatal injuries of the 3 bodies could not have been caused by human beings, because the force of the blows had been too strong and no soft tissue had been damaged. Released documents contained no information about the condition of the hikers' internal organs. There were no survivors. At the time, the official conclusion was that group members had died because of a compelling natural force. The inquest officially ceased in May 1959 as a result of the absence of a guilty party. The files were sent to a secret archive. In 1997, it was revealed that the negatives from Krivonishenko's camera were kept in the private archive of one of the investigators, Lev Nikitich Ivanov. The film material was donated by Ivanov's daughter to the Dyatlov Foundation. The diaries of the hiking party fell into Russia's public domain in 2009. On April 12, 2018, Zolotaryov's remains were exhumed on the initiative of journalists of the Russian tabloid newspaper Komsomolskaya Pravda. Contradictory results were obtained. One expert said the character of the injuries resembled a person knocked down by a car, and the DNA analysis did not reveal any similarity to the DNA of living relatives. In addition, it turned out that Zolotaryov's name was not on the list of those buried at the Ivanovskoye cemetery. Nevertheless, reconstruction of the face from the exhumed skull matched post-war photographs of Zolotaryov. Although journalists expressed suspicions that another person was hiding under Zolotaryov's name after World War II. In February 2019, Russian authorities reopened the investigation into the incident, although only 3 possible explanations were being considered: an avalanche, a slab avalanche, or a hurricane. The possibility of a crime had been discounted.
Alright, now with that last part being said, with it being either an avalanche, a slab avalanche, or a hurricane. There's I actually did a little bit of research on this. I think it was 2018, I believe, where this guy who said that it was because of an avalanche was actually was under some fire because he just did that to get his wife into a higher power position of power at the company that they were working at.
Oh yeah.
So that was actually proven that there could still be an open investigation. So I'm just trying to get over some sinus stuff going on right now, so excuse me if I sound a bit weird today.
I was also going to bring up something that I find very interesting with this case, and it's the camera itself, because it has a picture of a cryptid on it being a Yeti, or believe of a cryptid. Now, I've never seen these photos, so I think it would be the perfect time to, see what this one looks like, because I want to believe in Bigfoot. It's just too much evidence are pointing the other way.
I have seen this photo, and I personally don't believe that this is a Yeti or what people say it is. I just think this is
Someone in a snowsuit.
yeah, they were just trying to goof around.
If you notice this one, it's got the same bulk as this guy right here.
Yeah, is there any chance we can?
Yeah. So I'm talking about this guy right here. How do I go full screen?
You can just scroll in. Oh, even that right there.
Yeah.
Like same bulk. It looks like a big, bulky clothes.
Seeing if I can actually find the picture of the Yeti,
There it
the
is.
supposed Yeti right here. No, I would just say it's the same bulk. I can't even.
Yeah, and you can almost tell that there is a waistline with like the jacket where it ends and where the pants meet. So I don't personally believe that this is a Yeti at all. That's just me.
I don't think it was done by a Yeti after just seeing the supposed picture of it. I will always say Sasquatch has and Yeti has this magical ability that whenever someone takes a picture of them, it's always going to be out of focus. Always 9 times out of 10 will be out of focus.
Mm.
And when it's in good focus, it looks too fake to me. Weirdly enough. I'm just seeing that little face right there.
Oh yeah, I see that now.
So let's go on to theories. What are your theories? What happened to them?
Well, actually, before we go on to that, I kind of want to discuss some of the injuries that some of these people sustained. And the big one to me is the missing tongue of. Oh boy.
Also, I want to mention something. We weren't laughing at the missing tongue. We weren't laughing. We weren't being insensitive jerks.
No.
Just as soon as that was said, my phone yowie wowie. And my phone has that ability where it goes yowie wowie at the wrong moments or maybe at the right moments.
During the part where it's telling about this poor girl, her injuries were, and it just all we hear is yowie wowie.
Yeah. So I do want to mention that.
Right, so this
Testing. Testing, testing. I'm sorry. I'm just seeing that we're picking up on each other's mics again.
Was I supposed to do this here?
Yeah, do that there.
Look
Then
at
you can.
my gorgeous face.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's a
I care.
podcast.
Yeah, but Rob's got to see my beauty face. Yeah. All right, so this poor girl that was missing the tongue, Lyudmila Dubinina, 20 years old. This is straight from the Dyatlov and this is like the actual. You can find a list of all the injuries of everyone. She had 10 things on with her. Number 1 was soft tissues are missing around eyes, eyebrows, nose bridge, and left cheekbone. They're partially exposed, but that could be described as like animals just picking away. So
Yeah,
That's
because
not-
these people weren't discovered for a handful of months.
yeah, and then you got to take in consideration the plus 2 months it took to find the other bodies.
Yeah.
Number 2 was damaged tissues around the left temporal bone, size 4 by 4 centimeter or 4 centimeters by 4 centimeters. Eye sockets are empty. Eyeballs are missing. Once again, animals. Nose
Allegedly.
allegedly. It's explainable.
Yeah, we're not saying that. We're not going to be like, oh yeah, a fucking Siberian tiger. Like, oh, we know. Like, this is all hypothetical of what we're thinking happened to these bodies. Because I'll be honest, I can almost see this being an avalanche.
I have my own theory about what happened, but
Yeah.
it still doesn't explain radiation. But I will get into my theory after this.
Yeah.
Number 5, soft tissues of the upper lip are missing. Teeth and upper jaw are exposed. Number 6, tongue is missing. 7, ribs 2, 3, 4, 5 are broken on the right side. 2 fracture lines are visible. Ribs 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are broken on the left side. 2 fracture lines are visible. 9, massive hemorrhage in the heart's rate are atrium. 10, bruise in the middle left thigh, size 10 centimeters by 5 centimeters. But then when I look more into the tongue, because this is the part that really took me aback, is it is noted that the stomach contained about 100 grams of dark brown mucosal mass, often misquoted as coagulated blood. It is used by some as an indication that the heart was beating and the blood was flowing when the tongue was removed from a mouth. So that means she was still alive when her tongue went missing. So to me, that's a big part where it's just like, that cannot be an avalanche. So something had to like pull out her tongue while she was alive.
Yeah, but those 4 were also discovered long ways away from where the other bodies were discovered. And like, I know they say that it seems like they weren't running. Well, when you're going through giant snow, you can't move through it very fast.
Yeah.
I think it's more of an avalanche too, because it would explain why they wouldn't have any clothes on. Like, you're trying to get out of there as quickly as possible. And then it also shows why the other 2 looked like they were going back to the camp to just grab everyone's snowshoe and all that stuff, but they eventually died. These guys were going through hypothermia.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that is said. Like, 6 group members died of hypothermia.
And 3 were killed by fatal incident. Or
Fatal injuries. Like,
injuries, yeah.
they're saying it might not be another person because the injuries were so compact and heavy.
Yeah, it was under pressure. And there
Yeah.
were no signs of struggling like combat.
For me, what would be more pressure than getting hit by it doesn't have to be a large avalanche, but avalanche strong enough that it's going to cause internal injuries and
Mm-hmm.
bone fractures and all that stuff without, damaging the skin because all of it's happening at the same time.
Yeah. Let's see.
For me, the easier answer and the answer that almost everyone accepts is the answer I'm like, it makes a lot of sense for me. However, you want to talk about that radiation.
Radiation, and I'm trying to figure out who it was. Here we go. It was Yuri Doroshenko, age 21. The first thing that they say in his injuries list or the details is in the hair of the deceased, expert found particles of moss and pine needles. Hair is burned on the right side of the head. How can an avalanche burn?
You got to remember there was also that small fire that they had in the, like they discovered what remains of a fire. So, you know, it's cold, it's slippery. Maybe he fell into the fire.
But there'd be more.
There would be more burns, yeah.
Like, I don't believe that this is aliens. I don't believe this is Bigfoot or Yeti. I don't believe this is even the Aboriginal people that it was talking about.
Maybe what happened is a combination of our theories because there's radiation going on here,
Mm-hmm.
and they're on a mountain. What happens if they sense? Because they're not going to say if this is Soviet Russia.
Mm-hmm.
This is very centered media going out. A lot of is Russia being 100%? Because these guys might have more injuries than what's being led on.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these things, you saw it where this investigation was done very fast and very by Soviet Russia on the books. I don't care because I think I'm banned in Russia on one of my Twitch channels or something, or I think Pokebongs, or this one's banned in Russia.
What?
Or whatever. Yeah, I was trying to upload a video on YouTube, and it's like, your content is banned in Russia for talking about this, this, and this.
Oh.
So we're banned in Russia. So, like, I'm pretty sure Russia's not going to hear this shit.
Hmm?
But,
So you think the government could have?
I think the government might have been tampering with, because they weren't supposed to be on this mountain peak. If you've noticed, they got lost. They went to this mountain peak.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if the Russian government was trying something with a radioactive avalanche bomb to see if that works?
Well, that's the interesting thing, because also this has been reported by other people in the area, not just these hikers, but they were saying that there were weird lights in the sky. Now, I actually talked to my dad about this, and like I said, I don't believe it was UFOs. I believe this could be the potential of USSR testing site.
Yep.
And this could be like drones that just never worked out, and that or nuclear stuff, missiles, stuff like that. But then my explanation for the pressure is, and like this explains like the right side of the hair or head being like burned, is I believe that their stove exploded on them.
Okay, that's an interesting theory.
That's what I think happened, because that would explain like the hair, the fractures. They cut themselves out because it was getting hot in there. They're like, oh, fuck. Didn't have time to grab anything. Some people tried.
Yep.
But then that explains like they went down and they tried to go back up later. And then that's where the first three passed on.
Yeah.
So that's my theory, is that their thing exploded, but they were also on a USSR
testing site.
Yeah. So to me, that's what I believe happened.
So the only difference of opinion that we have is, you think a stove blew up, I think an avalanche happened.
Mm.
I don't. For me, it could be almost like a flash avalanche too. Like I don't think these guys were going to think that they were going to get caught out and without clothes on. I think they were going to go back for their clothes. Like they're what class level 2 hikers.
Mm-hmm.
Why were they all in their underwear? Do they not know what long johns are?
Right. But then there's also the den. Did you look up into any of that?
The dead?
The den, D-E-N.
D-E-N?
D-E-N, den. Like a fox den. Yeah, so I believe it was 3 people tried making a den. It's on their website here. Actually, do you want to pull up? Yeah, Dyatlov Pass, the den. They explain it here. And I do believe that an avalanche happened a little bit later due to the explosion of... Move the stove. Or you're just going to highlight it and then have it be red?
Yeah.
Smart.
The Dyatlov Pass Incident. Background. The den. When in May the snow started melting, a Mansi native Kurakov with his dog noticed some cut branches that were forming sort of trail which they followed. According to case files 341 to 343, the den was made from 14 fir tree and 1 birch tops. Yuri Yudin later noticed the discrepancy that there were only spruce trees that were cut near the den. Another strange fact is that there is no mentioning of a knife found at the scene, but the trees were cut with a knife. In Lev Ivanov's resolution to close the case it says near the bodies, Krivonischenko's knife was found, which cut off the young firs near the fire. Finding a knife is not documented anywhere and is not reflected in any of the memories of search participants. The same Krivonischenko's knife was not presented to relatives and was not returned to them. Unlike all other knives of the group. Spruce trees cut near the den. 50 m from the cedar the searchers found black cotton sweatpants, the right leg cut off with a knife. Cedar branches, a young fir tree was missing its top, another piece of clothing was found, the left half of the women's light brown wool sweater, right half, and sleeves cut off. Sweater was presumed to belong to Ludmila Dubinina. Dyatlov Pass, the den. 15 m up the bank from the stream, they found half of a beige sweater and the other half of the ski trousers. The area was previously searched with avalanche probes, but the snow then was deeper than expected. Vladimir Askanadze and Boris Suvorov, both UPI students, were key players in the rescue team. Kurakov followed some small fir tree branches in the snow till 50 m down from the cedar they led into the snowdrift. Rescuers began to dig and at a depth of 3.5 m they found cut branches covered with clothes. The bed of branches consisted of 14 fir tree branches and 1 birch, and on top were belongings and clothes. Dyatlov Pass, the den. The clothes on a bed of cut branches made 4 seats. The clothes included 1 leg of a pair of black ski trousers, a thick brown woolen sweater, a white woolen jumper, made in China, and a pair of brown trousers tied at the ankles but flared open with a tier to widen them. 15 m from the den, they found a spoon and a knife sheath. Official criminal investigation, decision to dismiss criminal case. The bodies were found few meters away from the clothes found of Krivonischenko and Doroshenko, pants, sweater. All clothes had been cut when they were taken from the bodies of Doroshenko and Krivonischenko. Bodies of Thibault Brignalis and Zolotaryov were better dressed. Dubinina's fur jacket and hat were found on Zolotaryov, her leg was wrapped in woolen trousers that belonged to Krivonischenko. Krivonischenko's knife was found close to the bodies, it was used to cut off branches of young fir trees. Here is a very strange fact, knife was never found in the area, only a knife sheath. Lead investigator Lev Ivanov could not have mistaken a sheath for a knife. The branches were cut with tool, that could not be misinterpreted, but the absence of this tool could not be explained without having somebody taken the knife from the crime scene. And that meant that the case could be closed as a calamity or overwhelming force. Dyatlov Pass, dying place of Ludmila Dubinina. Dying place of Ludmila Dubinina. 20 m from the den, a probe 4 m deep came out with a fragment of flesh. They started to dig. Dubinina's body was found in the ravine on May 5, 1959. From the official record of the discovery of the bodies. On the northwest slope of Hill 880, about 50 m from the cedar, in the stream, we have discovered 4 bodies, 3 men and 1 woman. The body of the woman has been identified as Ludmila Dubinina. The bodies of the men cannot be identified without removing them from the water. They are buried in snow 2.5 m deep. The men are lying with their heads facing north and downstream, and the body of the woman is lying facing upstream. She is dressed in a small skullcap and a yellow sleeveless shirt. Then a flannel shirt, 2 sweaters, one grey the other dark, and on her legs are leggings and brown ski trousers. On one foot are 2 woolen socks and, on her right foot is bound half of a beige sweater. On the back of her head and on her back there are traces of damage from our probe. Her body is decaying. The first man is dressed in a khaki-colored windbreaker, and on his wrist he has 2 watches, one a Pobeda and the other a Sportif. The Pobeda had stopped at 8:38, and the Sportif showed 8:15. It is not possible to see the head and legs of this body, because he is not completely exposed. The other 2 bodies lie in a kind of hug, both with nothing on their heads, and some their hair missing. They are both dressed in windbreakers, but it is hard to say what else, and it will have to wait until we get them out of the stream. The bodies are decaying and we have photographed them. They need to be taken out of the stream immediately because they are decaying fast and will soon be lost in the stream, which is very fast. It was Vladimir Askanidze's probe that damaged Dubinina's neck. In 2013 Askanidze published a letter in Ural Stalker 2013 N01 magazine, in which he recalls that the distance between all the heads of those found in the brook was about 30 centimeters, they were all very close to each other. As for Dubinina, he says her head was laying down on a kind of a natural ledge with water rolling over it. Her mouth was open. Dubinina was laying on a kind of a natural ledge with water rolling over it. Her mouth was open. There are claims that the tongue was ripped, or eaten, or whatnot. The medical records simply that the tongue is missing. Vizroshini describes missing hypoglossal muscle as well as muscles of the floor of the mouth. Dyatlov Pass, dying place of Kolovatov, Zolotaryov, and Thibaut-Brignol. Kolovatov's body was found right next to Zolotaryov's as if the latter was carrying or protecting him. Thibaut's body was positioned 30 centimeters lower downstream. Vladimir Askanidze recalls that when they dug them out one of the bodies had a notebook in one hand, and pencil in the other. Colonel Ortyakov grabbed the notepad, looked at it, cursed and said, "He's written nothing." He seems to be the only one that has seen the notepad. The whereabouts of this notepad is unknown, it was never filed in evidence or seen by anyone else. On the other hand we hear only from Askanidze about the whole episode with the pen, notepad, and Colonel Ortyakov. And that 59 years after the fact in a recent letter of Askanidze to Ural Pathfinder magazine. Georgy Ortyakov, the army colonel in charge of logistics and helicopter support, was the only one who saw the notebook in Zolotaryov's hand. Vladimir Askanidze recalls that it was hard to identify the bodies as they found them, and it was Colonel Ortyakov who was ordaining who was who. "We were surprised," Askanidze said, "because it was really hard to see, and no one could object or disagree." Askanidze also mentioned that while he was present during that period, he felt very strongly that those in charge were not really interested in a proper investigation. He remembers that the lead investigator Lev Ivanov did not even approach the pad of branches, didn't take pictures, it seemed they already had a theory. Askanidze extends this accusation to Ortyakov, who was in charge of the whole rescue operation. He wrote, "If it was really so important to get this right, why didn't they call for Yuri Yudin? He was the only one that knew them all, and could say for sure. I only knew Zina." The whole search operation was rushed. This pressure was from someone above, from Moscow, Sverdlovsk, or Ividal. The atmosphere was very tense. Everyone was anxious for answers and awaiting for news. Ortyakov and some soldiers took all the bodies from the stream, carried them up the bank and placed them on special stretchers to drag them across the snow. Then took them up to the pass to the helipad. It was hard work, and they repeated the same process 4 times. A helicopter met them on the pass, but the pilots refused to take the bodies on board, complaining this was outside their official duties. It has been said that the pilots knew the bodies were poisoned with radiation and, for this reason, didn't want them in the aircraft. Ortyakov sent the following radiogram. "This is a scandal. I and 14 other people brought these bodies on our shoulders and they refused to take the bodies in spite of me insisting. As a communist I am outraged by the behavior of the crew and ask you to inform the Communist Party leader about it. And I have to mention to you for clarity, these bodies are frozen. We packed them for transportation and there was no reason to refuse to take them. The medical expert refused to examine or to cut the bodies here on site. It is absolutely not dangerous from the point of hygiene. They are folded and covered in special impervious material. The crew said they would not transport them until they are in zinc coffins. At this point Colonel Ortyakov reached the limits of his desperation. He took out his pistol and threatened the crew. Vladimir Askanadze intervened, after which the medical expert reorganized how the bodies should be packed for transportation, and they were finally airlifted for transportation to Ividal.
This just leaves me with more questions.
I want to know what was on that notepad.
I want to know why these guys were so hesitant to not bring them on, and why this guy threatened them with a gun.
Because they know more than what they're saying. This is Soviet Russia. This is communists. This is literal big brother. Everyone thinks it's fun to talk about communism, but this is why you don't want communists. You think Republicans are really that bad and the left wants to have... Sorry, this is politics again, but this is something that goes with it. There's more to this story than we're ever going to find out. Like, we can come up with the correct theory tonight. And what happens if we already have come up with the correct theory? That I honestly think they were trying to fuck with the weather. Like, I honestly think that they were trying to do something with the radiation to see if they can make avalanches happen. They shot a couple bombs going over, which explains weird lights in the sky, because the bombs themselves were making like a kind of a weird light going like that. And, you know, if you want to pretend like, what do bombs kind of look like? Well, the cylinder and all that stuff. You know, they kind of look like maybe aliens, which helps the alien theory.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe with how much radiation was going on there, that's why the stove exploded. Just sending a radioactive bomb, because you got to remember.
But if it's like a hot tent, which is just like a piece of metal with a hole and a small like chimney, that's not electric or anything.
No.
But then we don't know what type of stove they had.
We don't even know if the stove itself was radioactive.
Yeah.
This, because I don't know if you know this, I use a radioactive oven every other day. It's called a microwave.
Yes, sir.
So I'm using radioactivity or small bits of radioactivity every day. They could have had like an early microwave oven, and that could have been the thing that exploded.
Yeah, but then how would that be powered? This is 1959. Oh, and did they ever mention in the Wikipedia article what the mountain was called that they were on?
I think they did.
And what it translates to?
That one?
Yeah. Kolat Sayakal. Translate to... Yeah.
At this point Colonel Ortyakov reached the limits of his desperation. He took out his pistol and threatened the crew. Vladimir Askanadze intervened, after which the medical expert reorganized how the bodies should be packed for transportation, and they were finally airlifted for transportation to Ividal. Kolat Syakl.
Kolat Syakl.
Yeah, and where does it say? Meaning dead mountain or silent peak. Why the hell would they want to go to a mountain that's called Dead Mountain?
They got lost.
They didn't go that far. They're on the mountain already. They couldn't have gone from one mountain to another.
Well, the other thing too is depending on how these mountains are situated.
There's a
There is a map down here. Oh, that's just nearby areas. So did they rename this pass then?
Yeah, they recall it the Dyatlov Pass. There's also a movie about this called The Devil's Pass. Which it has their own interesting theory about it, but well, I wouldn't say theory, it's their own take on it. I have watched this before. It's so good. Although it gets a bit weird at the end.
"53 years ago, 9 people set up camp in the Ural Mountains in Russia. It had become known as the Dyatlov Pass Incident.
Are you scared?
No.
We're recreating a trip in which 9 people died.
Yeah, what, like 50 years ago?
Time to go."
It's a test, you know? Man against the elements.
Guys, say hi from Infdel! Come look at this!
What is it?
The GPS is all screwed up.
We should just leave.
By the time we get packed up and get moving, we're gonna be hiking in the dark.
You gotta reset it now.
Ah! Ah! They tried to bury us so it looked like an accident.
Help! Where'd he go?
Well, that kind of went on a completely.
Right? That's the part
Turn.
I wasn't a big fan of.
What were those, like skinwalkers?
Nope. Those were I don't want to spoil the movie in case any of you want to watch it, but they dabble with something that is impossible to have in real life. Want me to whisper into your ear?
Sure. Sci-fi bullshit.
Sci-fi bullshit, yeah.
Oh my god. That I don't want to say that's bad, but
It's not what I was expecting. I would have liked the documentary thing to just do its own thing and then have it end with the government being involved because it's the USSR and yeah. They plop pad.
but anyways, what do you guys think happened?
Yeah, I want to hear your guys' theory.
Like, what happened to these guys? Is it as simple as they say, an accident, an avalanche, something simple like that? Or did the army actually have something to do with it? I think weather control.
Her eyes were missing. Her tongue was.
I think it's a mix of a few things. I think the weather control, I think that's very highly likely. Then mixed with government being involved. But I still want to know what happened about that fucking tongue.
Yeah. Well,
It
I'm
still
not too worried about the tongue because I do know hypothermia had some stuff to play with a lot of stuff too.
Where
Like,
she would rip out her own tongue?
People get crazy on hypothermia. Like, people want to undress and all that stuff.
Okay, well, undressing is different
In his
than
research,
ripping out
Dr. Morrison identified a
body
paradox.
part.
Yeah, but I don't know to what degree. Especially if she has radiation poisoning and hypothermia at the exact same time.
Mhm.
I'm gonna let this one play, and because this one says it's been finally solved, but I think me and Austin want to throw in our 2 cents for this one.
They had cut their way out of their own tent from the
I'll have
inside,
to
their
look into
personal
this a
items and
little.
even a fresh meal perfectly laid out and ready to be eaten. They fled in a panic, mostly shoeless and some without socks, and none of their cold weather clothes despite the temperature being negative 13 degrees. A few hundred yards away, 2 bodies were found. Several hundred yards past them, 2 bodies were discovered under a tall tree, clothed in only underwear. One of the bodies had a 3rd-degree burn and a chunk of flesh from the right hand was in its mouth. All the bodies found were covered in bruises, cuts, and scratches. The rest of the bodies wouldn't be found until months later, and the shocking details only deepen what's the greatest mystery to ever come out of the Soviet Union. Late January 1959, and a group of 9 college students and recent grads are embarking on a trip of a lifetime. The group is made up of experienced hikers and skiers, but they've plotted a route that no Russian had ever taken. The trip would take them on a 16-day trip across the Urals and through the territory of the native Mansi people. It would be a grueling ordeal, exposing the group to bitterly cold temperatures and high winds, but the route avoided the dangers of trying to cross the mountains in winter by sticking to the lowlands. The trip would require great endurance, but the group of young Soviets was well prepared for the ordeal. The Ural Polytechnic Institute Sports Club had sponsored the trip, brainchild of Igor Dyatlov, who could have no way of knowing that his name would go down in infamy as he dreamt up the expedition. Right before leaving, however, the university administration mysteriously added a new member to the expedition, Semyon Zolotaryov. At 37 years old, he was 15 years older than most of the rest of the group. A hardened World War II veteran covered in tattoos, Zolotaryov cut an imposing figure. His inclusion to the trip is never explained by the university, despite suspicions that Zolotaryov is actually KGB. On January 23rd, the group leaves for Sverdlovsk, their jumping-off point for the expedition. Using personal journals and one communal journal discovered with the remains of the tent, investigators are able to piece together a very detailed picture of what happened in the days leading up to the mystery that would claim all their lives. Photos recovered from the group's cameras painted a perfect picture of a young group of happy-go-lucky college students and grads out on a grand adventure. As the group nears Sverdlovsk, Yuri Yudin has a painful flare-up of sciatica. The crippling pain forces him to abandon the trip, much to the group's dismay. Yudin hugs his friends goodbye, having no idea he's just cheated death. On January 28th, the group heads off into the mountains. They're never seen alive again. 8 days after the group's expected finish date, frantic family members and loved ones begin calling the university and the local bureau of the Communist Party. Search parties are immediately sent out, assisted by local Mansi hunters. Fellow students, prison guards, police, and even the Soviet military join the hunt for the missing trekkers. 5 days later, one of the search parties stumbles onto one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. The group's tent is discovered on February 26th after following their ski tracks for a full day. The tent is above the tree line on a mountain the Mansi called Kolatsiakal, or Dead Mountain. It's partly buried in the snow, and most mysteriously, all of the group's equipment is still neatly laid out as if they'd just settled in for the night. Ski boots and equipment is stacked by the door to the tent, and even food is laid out as if it's about to be eaten, completely untouched. What's not found is a body. Even more mysteriously, the tent had been slashed open on one side. Police wonder if someone slashed their way in for some reason until a seamstress visiting the police station where the tent is stored stuns investigators by pointing out that the tent was cut open from the inside. That would explain the missing bodies. But what in the world would cause 9 healthy, strong Russian hikers to slash their way out of their own tent, apparently in such blind terror that they left behind all their vital cold weather clothing, including boots? Further investigation of the scene revealed the trackway of the hikers as they made their way to the tree line below. The prints clearly showed that almost all of the group had not put on their boots as they fled the tent, and some were walking barefoot. The prints continued for several hundred yards until they vanished at the tree line. There amongst the trees, 2 bodies are discovered under a tall tree. The bodies lay next to the remains of a small fire, and yet mysteriously they are only clothed in their underwear. Even stranger, 12 to 15 feet up in the tree, investigators find bits of torn skin and clothing on the trunk, along with some broken branches. One of the bodies has blackened fingers and a 3rd-degree burn on the shin and foot. Inside the mouth is a lump of flesh flesh bitten right off the right hand. The other body has burned hair on one side of the head and is wearing a charred sock. Next, investigators find 2 more bodies back up the slope facing the direction of the tent. It's clear these 2 were trying to make their way back up to the tent. A 5th body is found a few days later, also apparently trying to get back to the tent. This one is found with a small fracture on their skull. All of the bodies, however, are covered in cuts, bruises, and scratches. Investigators are now assuming a homicide has taken place, yet none of the evidence points to the presence of anyone not from the original group. No murder weapons are found, and no signs of foul play. Toxicology reports come back clean. Investigators hope that the discovery of the 4 missing bodies may help shed light on the mystery. They would be wrong. As snow begins to melt, a Muncie hunter discovers the remains of a makeshift snow shelter 250 feet from the tree where the 2 burned bodies were found. Inside the shelter is bedding made out of branches, along with black cotton sweatpants missing one leg and the left half of a woman's sweater. Authorities begin to probe the snow in a search for the bodies, and soon discover the 4 missing bodies buried under 10 feet of snow on a rocky stream bed. One of the bodies has a head injury so severe that pieces of bone have been driven into the brain. 2 others have crushed chests and multiple broken ribs. One has a hemorrhage in the right ventricle of the heart. Another is missing its lips, and a third is missing its eyes, tongue, and part of the upper lip. The medical examiner remarks that the injuries would be similar to what would be expected if the bodies had been found at the scene of a car crash. The bodies are also discovered to be wearing pieces of clothing removed or cut from the 5 bodies discovered earlier, indicating these 4 survived longer than the first 5 found. Greatly deepening the mystery, several of these clothing items emit very high levels of radiation, and a radiological expert testified that as the bodies have been exposed to running water for several months, the original radiation levels must have been much higher. The investigation is abruptly closed on May 28th. The original intent had been to determine if a homicide had taken place, and whatever happened to the group of 9, it was clear they had not been murdered, at least not by anything human. Independent investigations are immediately launched, with dozens of different theories offered on what exactly happened to this group of seasoned hikers in great physical shape up in the Ural Mountains. What could have possibly caused 9 people to cut their way out of their own tent, flee into a raging blizzard with no cold weather gear or even shoes, and then be discovered with high levels of radiation, broken and mangled bodies, and 3rd-degree burns? Theories fly wild and free. One investigator discovers burn marks on several trees and concludes that some sort of heat ray was used on the hikers. He backs this conclusion up with reports from locals having seen strange balls of light in the sky in the area. The very last photo in one of the group members' camera is of strange flares and streaks of light against a black background, though this is common of the final photo taken with a film camera. The possibility that the group was attacked by a Yeti is also raised, as one of the other group members' photos shows a dark hulking figure amidst some trees, yet no tracks except for the groups are ever discovered. Perhaps the Americans did it. Why was 37-year-old Semyon Zolotaryov attached to the expedition at the last minute by the university? His service record contained large gaps indicative of someone who is likely in fact working for an intelligence agency such as the KGB. Could the group have run afoul of CIA operatives or American mercenaries after a deal gone wrong with Zolotaryov? The most popular theory, however, is that the group inadvertently wandered across a test of a secret Soviet weapon. It's believed that some sort of missile launch went wrong and rained debris down on the tent, forcing the group to flee. That would explain the 3rd-degree burns discovered on 2 of the bodies, and perhaps even the presence of a potential KGB agent, perhaps attached to the group to monitor them as they passed through a secret military testing site. Yuri Yudin, who was forced to abandon the trip due to his sciatica, would go to his death claiming that the group was removed from the tent at gunpoint and killed, either by American CIA agents or the Soviet military. Now, however, we finally know what really happened on that fateful night in 1959. Really? In 2019, the case was reopened for investigation, and Andrei Kuryakov, a prosecutor, was put in charge. Using photogrammetry from the original investigation's photos of the scene, his group was able to better estimate the real location of the tent several hundred feet from where it was originally believed to have been located. This would prove crucial to understanding what happened that night. This new location placed the tent on a much steeper section of the mountain.
Here's everything you need to start playing D&D online. First, a group of friends. A group of 4 to 6 players works best, with 1 playing as the dungeon.
The reports from the night in question show that the winds had been gusting up to 65 miles per hour, with temperatures at minus 30 degrees. Photographs from the hikers show that they had cut deep into the snowpack at a right angle to the slope as they pitched their tent, trying to shelter themselves from the incredibly strong winds. What would normally be a smart survival move would prove to be fatal. The groups cutting into the snowbank had inadvertently weakened the entire snowbank. As the blizzard raged, additional snow was heaped into the structurally weakened snowbank. Sometime in the evening, the snowbank gave way, and a 3-foot thick slab of snow slammed into the tent from above. With up to 1,000 pounds of snow smashing down on the skiers, immediate injuries would have been severe for those in the most unfortunate locations inside the tent. The incredible weight would have also prevented the group from getting most of their gear. But even more importantly, the sudden shift in the snow would have triggered an instinctual fear familiar to every mountaineer in the world: avalanche. This would explain why the hikers cut their way out of the tent and fled into the night, downhill and toward the tree line. The suddenly shifting snow would have appeared to them as the beginning of an avalanche, and their only hope of survival would have been amongst the trees. There was simply no time to retrieve any clothing or cold weather gear. The group eventually took shelter under the cedar tree where 2 of the bodies were discovered. They built a fire, but somebody was forced to climb up the tree to find dry branches nearer to the top, explaining the skin and bits of clothing found on the trunk. With massive wind gusts, however, no fire could warm the ill-equipped group, and it would not have taken long for 2 of them to succumb to hypothermia and die. The third-degree burns discovered on the body could have been from a desperate attempt to get warm, or from falling over into the hot coals after death. The flesh discovered in one of the corpse's mouths was likely the result of delirium, the individual biting savagely into his own hand. The 7 survivors then cut the clothes off their 2 dead comrades, explaining why they were found in their underwear. The group now split up, with 3 of them, likely the strongest, heading up the mountain to the tent to attempt to retrieve their cold weather gear and supplies. And at this point, the group likely realized an avalanche was not coming, but in the driving snow and dark of night, there would have been little hope of them finding their way back to the tent. Thus, the 3 froze to death on the slope of the mountain, only a few hundred yards from the salvation of warm clothing. The other 4 decided to build a snow survival shelter and huddle for warmth, likely to wait out the night and seek out the tent in the morning. However, the group hit yet another stretch of bad luck, as the spot they picked to dig lay right above a stream. This particular stream doesn't freeze in winter, and instead hollows out a deep tunnel under the snow and ice through which it flows. As the group dug down into the snow, they accidentally breached the tunnel, causing it to collapse. The 4 fell into the stream below and were buried under 15 feet of snow, the crushing weight of it causing the injuries discovered on the bodies. From here, scavengers discovered the bodies and ate the various missing parts of the corpses' faces. This still left the mystery of the high levels of radiation though, but that too could be solved with some background info on the skiers themselves. One of the skiers had actually worked at the site of the world's 3rd worst nuclear accident, the Mayak nuclear complex. An explosion of radioactive waste had spread a plume 200 miles north into the East Urals. The hikers had even helped with the cleanup, and one of the other hikers lived in a village inside the contaminated zone itself. High levels of radioactivity would thus be likely amongst the personal clothing of both these individuals. The explanation had not satisfied everyone, but to date remains the most realistic and plausible explanation of what happened to the 9 hikers on that fateful night in the Urals. Ultimately, the only people who know the truth tragically died in the prime of their lives, and if the Soviet government was truly involved, then they've kept the secret of their deaths for 60 years.
My issue with that theory is these were university students who were experienced in expeditions. Why would they go to a steeper part of the mountain and then dig into it, knowing that they could cause an avalanche or have this 3-foot tall wall of snow and ice come crashing down? Shit.
I think the one thing that you said there was these were university students. These were people who were 19, 20, 21 years old. And you have to like understand how, and I know this because I know some Russian friends. They're very kind of like be a man and all that stuff. Like you gotta be strong. If you're gonna be strong, you gotta be tough and all that stuff. So I could see them trying to create the worst survival stuff for themselves to prove a point. Like when someone says you can't do something, you sometimes want to prove them wrong that yes, I can do this one thing.
But then you're messing with lives now. Is that something that they would do, or?
These guys were probably thinking it was just a class for them to get their class 3 hiker badge. I'm thinking like, you know, take some people who I was in Cubs before and all that stuff, and Boy Scouts and all that stuff. You do get a little cocky when it comes to camping and all that stuff. Like I have seen friends in Cubs and Scouts, we would build a larger fire than we were actually told to build. because being kids, and the only person that was old enough to go, which the only reason I think he was supposed to go was they needed someone to kind of like scout them, or not even scout them, but just be that teacher authority. But if you look at these pictures, these people weren't on working for the government or anything like that. They were college students, university students. College university students for me are like the exact same age group of people, early 20s and all that stuff. I do agree with the end of the video. We will never know for sure. There's only 9 people that know for sure, and all 9 of those people are dead.
Yep.
If you want to know the theory I like the most, I like this theory the most just because it's usually Occam's razor. Occam's razor, for those who don't know, is sometimes the simplest answer is usually the most correct. I do think, now if an avalanche happened or not, I do think they had the fear that an avalanche was happening.
Oh, yeah.
I think given the chance, I still question why none of them were wearing long johns or like good pajamas. Especially, this was the worst time to go camping. They said that this was the most difficult. So that's my belief.
I still like the theory that we kind of put together with at least my part where the oven kind of exploded. Explains why they were trying to get out of the tent so quickly, couldn't grab anything. Explains why some of them were burnt and just cuts, scratches,
and
all that. And then the lights in the sky, like weather control stuff, drones. I really like that.
Yeah.
I think that isn't too far-fetched considering that the Cold War.
Yeah.
And that explains why they were trying to go back, is they were extremely hot. They were like, oh, fuck, what happened? They get out there, they get lost in the dark, and then when they try and go back, they get lost, they die. But the thing that got to me was the multiple trees looking like they've been somewhat on fire. I don't think that they were hunted down or anything like that.
No, and I kind of wish there was one survivor.
No, I wish all of them survived.
Well, no, what I mean by that is I would like to hear what actually happened.
Yeah.
Because if something crazy did happen, but I gotta be the Occam Razor guy. But anyways, guys, that was our first unsolved mystery. Is there anything else you want to talk about this one?
No, not really. Oh, do you think Yuri Yudin knew what was going to happen? Is that why he left?
No, I don't think he knew what was going to happen. I think
just pure luck on his part.
Just pure luck on his part. But I also think that he knew if he wasn't strong enough to go on said hike,
he wouldn't. Yeah,
he wouldn't. So I do question why he said it was the Soviet Union or Americans or something like that. Like, what did he know that he didn't tell us? There's also someone like that would have been silenced by their own government at one point.
Oh, yeah. And I want to know what happened like with the helicopter. Be like, no, we're not taking these guys unless we have a zinc coffins for these people. And then he pulls a gun on them?
The only problem I have with that one is I need more proof than just that website.
Yeah.
Like, if that was said on the 3 parts of these videos that we found today, besides being on, no offense to the website, but I take that website as a whole Bigfoot is real website.
Yeah, they want to find the most outrageous.
Yeah, the because you don't have a story unless it's the most outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have a horror film about skinwalkers. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure they weren't skinwalkers, but they looked like skinwalkers.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. So, we still have a half an hour left.
What are we going to fuck around with?
We could just end early because we do end late a lot of times too. So we could just be like, oh, yes. Good one. We went long, but we went good.
That's what she said. No, it's not.
No, I just want to find evil.
Oh, yeah!
Ooh, yeah!
I just
What
want
was
to
it?
find.
What happened there?
Irish Bandit said, "Ooh yeah."
Show me this Kick stuff. Is this just like another streaming site?
It's just
Twitch,
another
or?
streamer site like Twitch.
Because I'm used to Kick being like a messenger app, like the really crappy one.
I want to find the Evil Bong movie. Because I think Evil Bong would be a really good movie to watch. It's bad, but it's good 420 movie.
And you are aware I don't watch. I am not interested at all in the 420 stuff, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be a small ad. But I think this is
너무너무 위대한 작전을 준비 중이거든.
사람 하나 더 죽이려 그런다.
What kind of bad things did you do?
This man killed a little boy.
Ready vengeance.
Hour 24.
That's like a full-on movie.
Yeah. I mean, let's save this for next week. And we'll have that on my affiliate special. Watch a 420 movie that's a horror film. And then we have that.
Yeah.
We just won't be, I won't be twitching on to the 2 other sites. It will just be a TikTok or Twitch one for next week. So, to tell everyone next week, ooh, you guys can see everything going on right now. Next week is my affiliate anniversary. We've been gaming here and there. Make sure if I turn something on.
Oh crap! It is March now. Yeah, that makes
April.
sense. April. Yeah, that's right. You said what I mean.
Where is that special poster? I mean, here's a new one right here.
Let's stay here. Oh, look at that.
I know I have this somewhere. All right. So this is going to be our next week one. As you guys can see. Gruesome Twosome presents Danky Bong's second affiliate anniversary. This is going to be a Pokemon Fire Red Nuzlocke randomizer. Like I always do, I get 1 extra life just for these videos. I used my 1 extra life for my last game pretty quick because I forgot to do the whole same level as the gym leaders, but. And then we have WrestleMania weekend, which WrestleMania weekend, I think I'm going over to my parents, I believe.
I'm probably busy too.
Yeah, so we won't have a stream then. I might come home and just film live reactions after the pay-per-view.
May long weekend, sounds like I am going to BC to go see my grandfather, my grandpa, my Didu.
May long weekend, I'm also busy with the wedding party. But where did I put those DVDs? We have Monster Mayhem happening in May. So with that, what should we start with?
Gotta go with the original Frankenstein.
Original Frankenstein?
Or should that be the main event?
I was hoping that would be the last big one because they have a new Frankenstein coming out.
Okay.
And how I was talking earlier, we might have to go with different
monster types,
different areas.
So, because I'm thinking, what are the main monsters in horror? I mean,
So, I'm honestly thinking we put on Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah,
like the one from the 90s because it had a lot of really good visual effects meeting with makeup and all that stuff. I would have to say we should throw on a Jeepers Creepers.
Okay.
We don't have to do Jeepers Creepers. Like I'm already happy with doing Frankenstein and Dracula. I do think we should throw in a kaiju movie.
Okay.
And I think that one should be Godzilla -1.
Mm-hmm.
That's just because we could either do that one and talk about Godzilla through the ages, because I think Godzilla is an underrated horror icon, and he was one of the first ones to become actually more of you cheer for them in the movies opposed to being afraid of them in the movies.
Yeah.
Like, ironically, a lot of slasher villains are now cheered. Like, people are like, yeah, Michael, stab that bitch.
One movie that we have to watch is American Werewolf in London, a personal favorite of mine.
Okay.
And I think we should throw in a zombie movie.
All right. So we have about 4 or 5 movies right now. I'm going to stand my ground on the Dracula and the Frankenstein movie. I agree with American Werewolf in London.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, just watching that transformation, that first
Night of the Living Dead.
scene.
That's what I was thinking too, if we decide to do a zombie one. But
if we did do a zombie film, just to kind of space out all the movies from different decades, because the Night of the Living Dead is going to be our second black and white movie that month. Like, I'm going with more of the 90s Dracula opposed to the classic looking Dracula.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is you have a really good 80s, 70s movies with American Werewolf in London.
I think that was 80s, right?
Something like that.
Oh, fuck.
No, it's broken.
No, I got lucky.
So what if we do one of my favorite zombie films of all time?
81.
Zombieland.
As much as I like it, I don't think it's horror enough.
That's fair. I love it though. I still love that movie.
If there was an English dub of it, I would have said Train to Busan because I believe that is the greatest zombie movie for modern ages.
Since it is coming up, and we are going to probably be seeing this movie down the line, we could do 28 weeks later.
Ooh, yeah.
Because there is a new one coming down the line.
28 years later, or was it months? I think it was years.
28 days later, then 28
weeks.
And
I think they skipped months.
And they went years.
I think so.
I think the new one is years. But
Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah. Rob, can you pull that up?
28 years later.
28 years later. Okay, we're good. But yeah, I think with having all this stuff like planned out, I think Monster Mayhem, we're going to see how many weeks we have in May.
Mm-hmm.
There's also someone cool coming up to the expo happening on that one day.
Oh, we got to talk about that like after our stream is done.
Yeah, because I know Kaylee wants you to come to the birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And then we might ditch after the birthday party, go and get a picture with someone very famous.
That's what she was telling me.
And then come back here and we'll start Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, fuck, I got a church thing for one of these Saturdays coming up. I think it's the 9th. I want to say it's the 19th.
19th of May? Or April?
Trust me, I know who you mean.
I think it's, April 19th.
Oh, that doesn't affect me, boo-boo.
You're not, aren't you, because that's Saturday.
April 19th?
Yeah,
that's WrestleMania.
Oh, shit.
That's going to be WrestleMania. That's the first night of WrestleMania.
Shit, that's right, too.
And I won't be available the last 2 weeks of April because I also have a show in for BEW.
Oh, that's right,
yeah,
too.
And I think you have a show that night, too.
My show is on the 26th. Yeah, oh my good lord.
Yeah, so we only have next week, which is the Philly party.
Yeah.
Then we're off for 2 weeks. I'll still come and give my thoughts on WrestleMania. Then we can have Dracula. And then there is a long weekend there. I think the 17th will be both off. So we'll do Dracula, American Werewolf, zombie movie, and then end with Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Or we could do Frankenstein, the second to last one, and then we set up for 28 weeks later, because then we can go into kind of like more of like talking about zombies and whatnot. But
yeah, but then June has Friday the 13th in it, so obviously we got to do something with Friday the 13th.
I think we're doing 2 weekends where we're going to be playing the game of killing and just passing the paddle back and forth after each killing thing, and then do we got to figure out which movie we want to watch, because the 2009 one's all right, but I love Jason Lives.
That was chapter 4?
6.
Was that 6?
Yeah, Jason Lives is, I believe, chapter 6. Because the 5th one
Yep, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, part 6. What the fuck? Which one's number 4 again?
Number 4 is where they actually finally killed Jason. And then number 5, they have Imposter Jason. And then number 6.
The final chapter, my favorite.
Yeah. They say the final chapter, but it went on for like 10 more movies.
Yeah.
I really want a new Friday the 13th movie to come out.
I would want this one to take place in the snow. Have you seen pictures of that? Like the fan film?
Oh, no. That would be awesome.
I'm going to look it up.
But anyways, guys, we're just chatting right now. So if you guys want to join the conversation, don't be afraid to join the conversation. We just had a good hour and a half talking about.
There's a new series on the way.
Yeah. I want to see that one too. I mean, if you guys want. Oh, that looks sick.
Oh, they're not going to be able to see that, are they? Oh, well, you guys are going to have to look it up yourself.
Put it on the Discord. People want to follow the Discord. I'll set that up later.
Oh, I have a new Discord because I couldn't remember my login password for my last one.
Oh, that's fine.
But I'll send it to you, then you can.
I can send it. I was going to put on game for us.
A game. That was me.
Give me some time. Give me some time. All right, just setting this up.
Oh, Jack in the Box. What was supposed to look up? Just Jack in the Box?
Jack in her box.
Jack in her box.
How's that for volume, Rob?
Good.
This the one?
Yeah.
Start of game activation is live. Okay, we're set.
Attention, there are flowers. Flowers have been delivered from a
Hey, I'm in it.
so if anyone's expecting flowers from a prisoner, they're at the front desk. Thank you. Okay, and we
All right.
the cake, and we want it to sound delicious and go. People have, like, it's very clear. You know, certain people to it to mystery, like Ellen. What her butt looks like? Well, I mean, it doesn't look good. We are dangerously close to overtime, everybody. Let's get this last shot, please, and break for lunch.
Rob.
Don't you hate going to the movies by yourself? I mean, I do. We have so much in common. I mean, maybe you and I should sometime. I mean, I don't know. I mean, whatever. I guess there aren't any good movies showing right now anyway, so never mind. Forget I said anything. That was stupid.
This message paid for by people who think you and Tina should go out on a date sometime just to see how it goes.
That's so embarrassing. I did not put them up to that.
Also,
Bika.
BBKA, babe.
Come on down to Barbecue Street all week.
Come on down, Jones Barbecue for massage.
It's 25% off Buffalo Blasted Chicken Wings. Tuesdays, it's 50% off whatever Buffalo Blasted Chicken Wings are left over from Monday. Wednesday, we've got 10%
He's saying
off our
I'm in.
famous dry spice ribs. But make sure to come back on Thursday for 60% off a sampler platter of Monday's leftover Buffalo Blasted Chicken Wings and Wednesday's dry spice ribs. Fridays we kick things up.
That's
a notch.
all.
You get a free order of buffalo blasted chicken wings and dry spiced rib soup just for walking in the door. And you're not gonna want to miss Saturdays when we'll give you $10 just to take
We got
some of
Mrs.
these
Danky.
rotten chicken wings and ribs out of here. You don't
Rob, try reloading.
just have to take them with you. Sundays
Are you in jackbox.tv?
BBKA.
on Monday.
I'm sorry, but these wrong answer of the game sponsors, these can't be real, yes? They're absurd. Look, if the price tag is high enough, I'll say whatever the hell you want, but I mean, come on.
Do you think you can cover just the last half of my shift for me?
It's telling me game is full.
Oh, here.
Not going to get me this time, Mrs. Danky.
We'll try that again.
Cookie, we found your pants. Well, hello. It's about time. Now, what should I do with this barrel?
Here, try again, Rob.
LOL.
You too, Kaylee.
Hey, checking microphone. Test
If we
one.
could silence all chewing on set, we are picking up some slight chewing.
Ural.
Sounds like a bubble gum or a gummy candy of some sort.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, pick episode. We're still on episode 1.
Yeah, I've already played episode 1 so many times. You know what? Team Sasquatch.
Hi, I'm Cookie Masterson, and anybody know how long you have to cook a chupacabra?
At Chupaca minutes.
Okay,
What?
you four, show of hands.
Couple minutes,
Who's
but
sitting next to
Chupaca
someone
minutes.
stupider than they are? Nice. Everyone's got a nice little screw. If you think an opponent doesn't know the answer, hit your screw button, and you'll force them to answer immediately. If they miss it, you win big. And our wrong answer of the game is brought to you by
Team Sasquatch, a new drama on the Angst Network. He's mysterious, he's elusive, and he drives the girls wild. Like him. Mondays at 8.
If you happen to find our sponsor's wrong answer of the game, you'll be rewarded with big prizes and cash. Okay, let's hit it.
Get ready, time for question. One.
First on the docket, not so smart Alec. What is Alec Baldwin most likely to scream at a dude with a camera who works as part of the paparazzi? F you, you fucking paparazza! I'll f you with the evil paparazzo! Get with the paparazzi! Or I'll break your fucking camera with my paparazzas! How much? Player 4? Players 1, 2, and 3? You're probably going to have to issue some kind of apology.
No!
Answer, show yourself. The singular term for paparazzi is paparazzo. And as a rule, paparazzi are borderline vile, but you still shouldn't f them in the f***ing... That's just sinking to their level.
Number 2!
Coming up, Drake a leg.
Oh, God.
Oh my god, for a second there I thought I saw my ventriloquist dummy Billy O'Brien again. I've been having visions of him just showing up at the most inopportune times. Ah!
One's made of skin, one's made of wood, so who's the dummy?
Not me! It really is you.
It's always me, you dunny.
I was hoping you were just a mirage.
A mirage? That we're not in a desert. Oh, speaking of which, where would you be if you saw me as a mirage in the Gobi Desert?
What?
Kazakhstan, Mongolia, Peru, or Mexico?
Player 2, who gets... I owe my player 4, you're getting screwed. You've got 5 seconds to make a choice.
Oh, come on, Mrs. Danky.
You know, in theory. Well played, screw player 2. Why not pick up a few more bucks? Player 2. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this.
No!
Player 1.
Well, it's true that you're wrong.
Player 3. Yes, the Gobi Desert is in China and Mongolia. Just don't sneak up on me anymore.
Rob!
Hey, no trottling. Someday I'm gonna murder you.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Nothing, I didn't say anything.
This one's called Shacking Up. Where should a large shacko be worn on Shaq O'Neal? His extra large ears, his big feet, his large head, or his massive hands? Player 4.
Don't you dare do this to me, Mrs. Danky.
If you're gonna threaten to screw someone, you gotta act on it.
Oh.
Okay, can we try this again, please?
Oh, fuck. Wrong
Player
button.
1. Shackos are a military-style hat with a large feather in the front, often worn by marching band leaders. It would be the most ridiculous thing he's worn since Kazam. Players 2 and 3.
Why wanted let
Do
me
you
pick
believe in
anything?
big feet? Well, you should.
I
because
could not tell
just
you.
won an autographed poster of Ketor, the sexy
Ketor.
Sasquatch star of Team Sasquatch on the Inks Network. If you think Bigfoot was sexy
Ketor.
before, you ain't seen nothing yeti. Today's wrong answer of the game earns you $4,000. Enjoy.
Was that an accident?
No, I don't know what just happened.
You got the wrong answer of the game.
Nice.
Open wide for Russian ladies looking for young men. And stop the train, it's a dis or dat. Player 4. Since your score stinks so bad, this one is all yours. I am going to list off 7 things. And for each one, I want you to tell me if it's something that happens to Anna Karenina in Tolstoy's classic novel, Anna Karenina, or a Justin Timberlake song. If it's Anna Karenina, press the X button. If it's Justin Timberlake, press the B button. Now, the rest of you need to hear this. Choose an answer before player 4, and if player 4 gets it wrong, I'll split the cash among everyone who got it right. Cool, let's do it. Adultery. Childbirth. Murder. Suicide. Apparently you don't know the classics, and you don't know much about Anna Karenina either.
What just happened?
I keep meaning to reread Anna Karenina, but I've been waiting for a time when I really want to fall into a deep, deep depression.
Mumbo number 5.
Pucker up for Woody or wouldn't he?
My Woody would.
What would it mean if Woody Allen were an alleged pedorthist? He's been accused. Player 1, who's gonna get? Player 4, you are so
Oh no!
You got 5 seconds. Ouch, out of time. Player 1, that was a successful screw. Why not grab a few more bucks while you're at it? Player 1. Hey, way to be wrong. Players 2 and 3. Oh, crap.
Crap.
One right answer coming up. A pedorthist is a doctor or
Not
healthcare
fair.
professional who focuses on feet, especially shoes and inserts that can help with pain relief.
I don't think she's happy.
And look, I'm not saying he's a shoe
No.
doctor, and I'm not saying he's not a shoe doctor, but the one thing we can all agree on is that The Curse of the Jade Scorpion was a terrible movie. Round 1 is complete, and player 3 is at the front of the class. At least for the moment. Remember, I'm doubling the value of
Coming
each
for you,
question in
Rob.
round 2. And let's see some screwing out there. You're being too nice.
No, we're not.
No.
No.
Rob, you know what you have to do.
Let's try Pup All Night.
Okay.
Considering their lifespans, which dog from the first Puppy Bowl would be the least likely to be alive to watch Puppy Bowl 11? That adorable poodle puppy? That adorable Great Dane? Player 3, where's that screw going?
Oh boy. I'm sorry, Mrs. Danke. I did this to you.
You yanked out your screw, you got us all excited, and then you just sat there. Lame. Can we continue now?
Oh, fuck, I know which one it is. This was on me.
Player 2.
Yeah.
Player 4. Honest
Well, that
mistake.
delay is killing me.
Player 1. As a general rule, the bigger the dog, the shorter the lifespan.
Yeah.
So the Great Dane, with a life expectancy of about 7 years, is probably not going to make it. Oh, we're going to get some angry posts on our Facebook page about this question, I can tell. But it's not my fault we live in a world where horrible things happen.
Question 7. Get up and shake your monkey bang.
Shake that bonka thing.
Say hello to beautiful millionaires are just so relatable.
Me?
Say the incredibly down-to-earth Jennifer Lawrence decides to go skydiving. If on her way down to Earth she reaches terminal velocity, what down-to-earth thing might you hear her say? Wowzer, I could not be going down to Earth any faster. Aw man, I'm going down to Earth slower every second. Lol, I broke the sound barrier on my way down to Earth. Or, cool beans, I'm actually now going away from Earth.
9/11!
Player 4, you there?
Just want to hear a yell come from the other
No, but
room.
how adorable would it be if she said that? Player 2. A falling object or adorable movie star that has reached its terminal velocity will not speed up anymore on its descent before hitting the ground. It's falling as fast as it can. But even if she fell to her death, I bet Jennifer Lawrence would leave the most adorable crater.
Follow me down to the sea.
Ooh.
And now, Kangaroo, Peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus?
Kangaroo, peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus.
My anus.
Closely associated with Miranda and Ariel. Kangaroo, Peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus?
I don't know who Miranda is.
Player 1. Nice job, Einstein. Players 2, 3, and 4. Miranda and Ariel are two larger moons of Uranus.
I just did it because it was blue.
Uranus. Hey, we were supposed to have a tuba.
I should have guessed Uranus.
Tuba guy.
He was in a car accident on the way over.
Gross.
Hey, trombone guy made it.
No, because Uranus is the god of the sea in Greek.
Oh yeah, I
And
guess
on
so.
its way. Ay caramba! I'm
Hey,
a cold-blooded
caramba.
Killer. Say Bart Simpson decides to start going around attacking authority figures with his slingshot. If it turns out like the story of David and Goliath, what might happen? Principal Skinner will die after getting shot in the forehead. Chief Wiggum will die after getting shot in the gut. Mayor Quimby will die after getting shot in the heart. Or Homer Simpson will run away after getting shot in the groin. Player 4, time's running out. Player 4? Since when is Homer Simpson considered an authority figure? Players 1, 2, and 3? David slays Goliath after slinging a stone into the middle of the giant's forehead. So that's how Principal Skinner might meet his untimely demise as well. But it really wouldn't be that much of a loss. Springfield is literally crawling with people who sound exactly like him.
Themed ham?
Take a good look at. I'm gonna need 2 oceans of calamine lotion stat. If the 80s hairband Poison were like poison ivy, what part of them would give people a rash? The fumes from their hairspray, the oil in their makeup, the silk on their rocket clothes, or the ink in their tattoos?
I guess randomly.
Player 3. Players 2 and 4. No, those just cause people to pass out.
I was going
Player
from the
1.
song.
Coming in contact with the oil on a poison ivy plant is what causes the skin to break out in a rash. So if the band Poison were similar, it would probably be best not to touch their oily makeup. In fact, it's probably best not to touch any part of the band Poison. You have no idea where they've been for the past 25 years.
Yeah. I was thinking about Alice Cooper. Never mind. Holy shit. I was thinking about the song, Poison.
Brace yourself for the attack. When you see 2 clues that match, press your A button. $2,000 if you're right.
What?
If you're wrong, you lose 2,000.
Oh, I see.
And most importantly,
Remember the clue.
it's gotta be a match that fits this clue.
Sounds right.
Climb time. What did these guys climb? Good luck.
Thank God.
Pop charts. Staircase. Society. Pile of bones. I have no idea who this is. I'll take it. Ural Ivy. No!
Player 2 has it! Player 2, I hope you weren't planning a big celebration in honor of your victory, cause it's not that great of a win. You know?
I'm gonna go home and sleep.
Too many balloons or hire a clown or anything, and certainly no bouncy houses. Maybe just a simple cake that reads, "You don't know Jack."
Okay.
I could sit here and play You Don't Know Jack all night with 4 people.
You guys screwed me over.
What?
When?
No.
When?
Doesn't sound like me at all.
Well, you know what? We'll just go like this, and then you have a chance of actually winning. Because Rob's right. The delay on that one is insane. Should we try Monster Seek Monster just to try that game out?
Sure.
Because this would be like almost the perfect time to try Monster Seek Monster. Extend timers.
Require Twitch? What's that?
You have to be you have to sign in through Twitch.
Oh. VIP.
I'm going to do this first. Give you guys a quick. See if that works. That looks better for you guys. Yeah, that looks way better. All right, let's start.
Hello and welcome to Monster Seeking Monster. I'm your host, Felicia the Faceless. I'll be hosting 6 nights of frightful flirting, where you'll try to convince other players to go out with you by sending them secret messages. Each night, you'll chat with other players before locking in the one person you want to date that night. If that person picks you back, you go on a date and both earn a heart. At the end of the game, the monster with the most hearts wins, unless something weird happens. Did I mention you're all secretly monsters? Check your devices now to see your secret powers and how you can earn bonus hearts if you put them to good use. Ooh, I wish I could play, but I've killed too many contestants in the past. Let's start by chatting with other players and trying to set up dates. You can only send 4 messages each night, so use them wisely. Oh, small detail. Your secret messages might not be secret forever, so keep that in mind. Only 20 seconds left to send your messages. Don't dilly-dally. Oh, sorry. Time's up. Now, on your device, pick the one person you hope you're going on a date with tonight. Okay, let's see who picked who and who, didn't. And if you don't get a date, don't worry. This is just the first night. Looks like someone had the same idea. Let's see what happens.
Rejection.
If you only get one message from someone, they're probably not that into it.
There we go.
Wow, what an exciting first night. Let's see the scoreboard.
I thought we were ride or drive.
It looks like you're doing the best, and you're not. A quick word of warning. Whoever is in the top spot at the end of the second night of dates will have their monster power revealed.
Uh-oh.
Every night after that, we'll do the same for the highest ranking unrevealed monster. Oh, also, just 4 players? That's not enough dating options. So, yeah, I'm adding a 5th player.
Robot.
Here's how the robot works. The robot loses a heart at the end of every night, but it also gains a bonus heart for every player that messages and tries to date it. At the end of the game, if the robot comes in last place, it fails to understand human emotions and destroys humanity. Don't you hate it when a lovesick robot makes everybody lose the game? I know I do.
Oh no.
If you need to read that again, you can always see the monster power rules for a revealed player by hitting the info button on their chat screen. We all know how this works by now. Message away! Hey, if you need to block another player, when you hit the info button on their chat screen, there's a block button in there, and then you won't see their messages. Second warning.
It's Irish Spanish.
Once again, it's time to pick your date. So, did we learn any useful life lessons the first night? We'll find out. Let's see the dates.
Oh, I'm sorry too.
Stay right there. There's more. Looks like someone else wanted in on that action and failed. Let's see if that changed any of the standings. Definitely saw some movement in there. Don't forget, from now on, at the end of each night, a new monster will be revealed. You're currently at the top. Let's see your monster power. The mother receives a bonus heart every night their child does not get a date. There's no way this gets weird. Oh, by the way, there's a full moon out tonight, in case that affects your monster power. Get to messaging. Oh, a quick word of advice. If you let a player know you're definitely dating them, they may be more likely to date you back. Just 20 more seconds. Okay, time's up. All right, it's time to pick dates again. It's times like these I love being a matchmaking monster. It's daytime. Looks like someone was hoping this date wouldn't work out. We already know how this will go. Stick around, there's another one for you.
Oh, good. Damn, we all asked out the robot.
Not me.
Where do you guys go?
Let's see if any of that changed the social pecking order. Ooh, things are moving. You're the highest unrevealed player, so let's see.
Ventriloquist puppet!
Sad people love puppets. The ventriloquist puppet gets a bonus heart every time they date someone that was rejected the night before.
Oh. So we're both rejects.
Uh-oh, full moon tonight. Message time.
I like having the robot.
Hey, 20 seconds. Oh, sorry. Time's up. Once again, it's time to pick your date. This is the... Okay, let's see them. It might help to woo people with more than just one message.
Ooh.
Don't go yet. There's more. That player was rejected last night. Bonus heart for the puppet. The robot's a sure thing if you're the only one that asks it out.
The robot's gonna win.
Let's see what's what now. Well. Some stuff definitely happened there. Okay, let's see your secrets.
Serial killer.
The serial killer steals 2 hearts from a player the second time they date each other. From my experience, it's safe to date a serial killer at least once.
That's why you keep asking out the robot. We should all ask out the robot so Kaylee won't get the robot.
Get to messaging.
Hey, your smartest thing. We're...
Only 20 seconds left.
This is the fucking dumb conversations I'm having right now.
Oh, same here, dude.
Okay, time's up. All right, it's time to pick dates again. This is my favorite part. Time to see the dates.
What a gunner.
You thought that one little message was going to work, huh? Stay right there. There's more. We know how this is gonna end.
That's okay. That's okay.
Stick around. There's another one for you.
Rebooting.
No date for the child means a bonus heart for the mother. Let's see if that changed any of the standings. Power moves. time for another reveal.
Glob.
Every time the Glob successfully dates 3 new players, its heart tally doubles.
Oh, cool.
It's our last night together. Make it count. And you get 2 hearts for dating tonight instead of 1 because it's such a special night. And there's a full moon. So fun. Message time.
About you, baby. And I know you caught some feelings for me too. The last chance, let's make some trouble. 'Cause you know now all the points.
You should that one out.
We're down to 20 seconds.
The last night, there's not another. The only one to choose is me. Then we'll be in ecstasy. Pick me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, sorry. Time's up. Once again, it's time to pick your date. Oh, this is so romantic. Sorry, I'm a bit of a ghoulie ghoul. It's date time. Apparently, no one tried to date the robot.
Perfect.
The Glob's heart tally doubles because it's dated 3 players.
What a donner.
And this means rejection for our extra lonely heart over there. We know this ends badly. No date for the child means a bonus heart for the mother. Let's see the almost final standings.
Thank you. Oh.
Apparently, it does not.
Did we tie for hearts? I think that should be it for us tonight. To be really honest, guys. That did bring us up to 10:30, which I like ending these around 10:30, 11 o'clock. Yeah. I do like getting the these games played so that we have something to end on. But that's going to be us tonight. I'll read out. I don't know who's on, but we'll see. Rip.
Aw, don't rip my jeans any more than they are. I'm bringing it back in style, you know.
It hasn't left style.
I don't
My
see it
boss was wearing ripped jeans. No one I really know is on right now.
I'm gonna go for the guy with 0 views.
Oh, yeah. There we go, guys. We'll see everybody next week.
Bye.
For
Love you a
our-
long time.
There we go.
For the gruesome Tucson, thank you for the raid. Hello, hello. Yo, hope your stream is good. I just started my stream here. This stream. Just gonna spam here real quick and do some breath work. If anyone's into that. And then play some Overwatch. So yeah. Good on that, okay. Okay. Here we go.
This is Gabriel Cristo, and I'm very excited to have you.
I really like this one here.
Today, that I created to help give our nervous system a break, melting away anxiety that may be weighing you down.
This is awesome. If you've never tried breath work.
Relaxed in the end. I'll be guiding you to 4 rounds in total, and we'll finish with a few deep breaths and a meditation. For the first 2 rounds, we'll inhale deeply through our nose, filling our belly all the way up to our chest, and then exhaling through the mouth. It will sound like this. And for the 3rd and the 4th rounds, we'll be doing the 2 parts inhale and exhale all through the mouth. So inhale through the belly, then another inhale to the chest, and exhale through the mouth in a relaxed way. It should sound like this. After the 4 rounds are completed, I'll guide you to a few deep breaths before we dive into the meditation. I encourage you to lay down if possible, just for safety. And I invite you to get settled, get comfortable, and set an intention for this practice. What is your reason for being here today? What would you like to let go of? What would you like to hold forward? Let's all take 1 deep inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouths. Let's get ready. 5, 6, 7, 8. In the nose. Nose. Continue here. And breathe out first. Let the music Let's get ready. Now take a deep inhale into your nose, feel your belly, your chest, all the way up to your head, and hold this breath. Hold it with full lungs. Squeeze gently this energy up into your head. And exhale all the way down. Hold your breath here on the bottom. And just stay present. Notice what the breath is doing to you. More seconds. Let's get ready to take a deep inhale in. 3, 2, and 1. All the way in. Deep breath through your nose. Squeeze it on the top. Squeeze your pelvic floor. And let it out. Let's get ready for round number 2. In 3, 2, 1. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Your ego may try to resist this practice. Your true self is stronger than you. Just keep breathing. Surrender to this moment. You can do it. In We are halfway into this round. Let your breath awaken the parts of you that have been silent for so long. One more minute here. You're safe to feel whatever you need to feel. Seconds to go. Just take a deep breath here, just 5 seconds. Lean into this practice. Surrender to this moment. Let's get ready to breathe through your nose. All the way in, deep inhale through your nose. Up to your head. Hold your breath. Hold on to it. Squeeze your pelvic floor. Small compression. Let's get Let's go.